So I've been getting this question from a few people now is what exactly are options? Because now that I've launched this new channel dedicated to trading and investing specifically about trading options, some of you guys are a little confused. You're brand new to the financial markets. You don't understand the whole concept. What is an option? I keep getting this question. Hey, DT, what is this option thing you keep talking about? Well, let's break it down like you're 5 years old. An option, I mean, it's in the name. What is an option? An option is a choice. You have the option to do something or not to do something. So when you buy an option, you're buying a choice. You could choose to do something in the future or choose not to do something in the future. That's what you're doing when you buy an option. You're buying a choice to do or not to do something by a specific date in the future. So an option, what this is, you buy an option and now you have the right but not the obligation to either purchase or sell some underlying asset by a particular date and time, a specified date and time that you agreed to when you bought that option contract. So when we're talking about stock options, where the underlying asset is a stock, a publicly traded stock, or ETFs, because ETFs are essentially stocks, right? They have shares. So anything with shares of stock that you can buy and sell. When you buy options on that, an options contract represents 100 shares of the underlying stock or the underlying ETF. So if you buy a long call on ABC stock, what you're doing is you're buying the right to purchase ABC stock, 100 shares of ABC stock by the expiration date of that contract at the strike price that you chose to buy that call at. Conversely, if you buy a put on ABC stock at a specific strike price at a specific expiration date, you have now bought the right, but not the obligation, to sell 100 shares of ABC stock at that strike price up until that expiration date. So that's all options are. Options are you're buying the right, but not the obligation to buy or sell an underlying asset, typically a stock, although there are options also on other products, particularly futures. But futures are a little different. When you buy an option on a future, you're buying the right to either buy or sell one contract of the futures. So with stocks and ETFs, anything with shares, right? The contracts represent 100 shares. When we're talking about futures contracts and you do options on futures, it always is settled to one futures contract. Now, what makes options a little weird for those of you that are used to how most financial instruments are traded, such as stocks, for example, you buy shares of a company, you buy some shares, and the price either goes up or goes down. If it goes up, you make money. If it goes down, you lose money, and that's it. And it's essentially a 50% chance of you winning, 50% chance of you losing. It's a coin flip, right? We just throw a coin up in the air and it's heads or tails. With options, it's completely different because now, say I want to bet on a company going up in price. Well, I could buy a call, and I could buy a call at pretty much any strike price I want to buy it at, depending on how big a bet I want to place. You know, do I think the stock's going to go up 5%, 10%? 50%, 100%. I mean, I could make some outrageous bets if I think the stock is just going to explode in price. And, you know, depending on how fast I think it's going to get there too. Do I think it's going to get there 6 months from now? Do I think it's going to get there 6 days from now? So you pick the strike price, you pick the expiration that's comfortable with your comfort as far as risk and reward. Another thing that I think confuses a lot of new options traders is the whole concept of exercise and assignment as far as the shares of stock, whether you're long a call, short a call, long a put, short a put, and of course the textbook definition of options as far as the 4 ramifications of each of those basic options trades always talks about the exercise and assignment of shares. But most options trades do not result in exercise or assignment. Most option traders are out of their positions well before the expiration date. And unless you're taking an option all the way to expiration, you almost will never face exercise or assignment. You're never going to have to worry about what happens at the end of that expiration cycle. And then now, am I long stock? Am I short stock? You know, am I up money? Am I down money as far as the share price and my cost basis per share? You don't have to worry about any of that as long as you're not taking your option positions all the way to expiration. And most option traders don't. So if I put on an option position at 60 DTE, 60 days to expiration, it doesn't matter what the position is, whether I'm long a call, short a call, long a put, short a put, whatever it is. I put on a position at 60 DTE. I'm not taking that thing all the way to expiration 2 months from now. I may hold it about 50% of that time. I may hold it to 30 DTE. And at that point, the underlying asset, the underlying stock has probably moved greatly in one direction or another. And I'm either up money or I'm down money on the position. And however it happens to be, I'm going to go ahead and close the position. I either won or I lost, but I'm going to close it early. I'm going to close it before expiration. We're just going to settle it for cash right then. Because if I hold that thing all the way to expiration, then we might end up with a situation where I am dealing with being put long shares of stock or being put short shares of stock. And I don't want that. As an option trader, typically you don't want a lot of your money tied up in shares of stock because shares of stock are expensive compared to options. So hopefully that cleared up a little bit of the confusion. If you're brand new to options trading, it's going to be one of those things that if you're brand new to this stuff, it is a deep topic. You're going to have to spend some time. You're going to have to do some research. You're going to have to watch some videos. You may have to watch hundreds of hours of videos, thousands of hours of videos. You're going to have to read some books, read some blogs, read some material, actually get up to speed on some things. But ultimately, it's not as complicated as what it first seems. Because I know at first, that textbook definition of what exactly an option is, it's confusing as hell. But again, an option is essentially you buying an option. You have the option to do something or not to do something at a date in the future, by a specified date in the future. An option, again, you're essentially buying a choice. I have the choice of whether to do this in the future or not to do this in the future. That's all options are. Again, it's right there in the name. I hope I did a better job explaining that, but if I didn't, let me know in the comments down below. Peace, guys.